There we go. All right. So, good morning, everybody. This is our still August, Talk About It Tuesday. And today we are going to be talking about chamber travel and other affinity programs or non-dues revenue. Sorry, I'm still admitting folks. Let's do that. All right, there we go. So, y'all, I'm easily distracted this morning. So really quickly, as we get started, just so I can see you guys better, there we go. How many of you, just maybe by show of hands, are currently doing chamber travel? Several of you? All right. Very good. So for those of you who are not, who are here just more on an exploratory basis, chamber travel is, of course, international travel that you do with typically a company like a Chamber Discoveries. Colette, I know, does a lot of work here in the state of Alabama. It's been around for a long time, but it is a program that is a non-dues revenue generator typically for your chamber, where you are taking, or the company is taking citizens of your community, not necessarily chamber members. And for those of you doing chamber travel, you certainly can speak more to it than I can. You're taking folks to international destinations in a group. Couple of the questions that we always hear is, do they have to be chamber member? Absolutely not. Most of the time they're not. They're just citizens from within your community. And how much can you make? That's the other question that we hear a lot. And so I'm going to let those of you who are doing chamber travel kind of answer that question for the others, if you don't mind. But I would say that really depends on, of course, how many people are traveling with you. And then also, if you choose to use your free trips, which are ones that you earn per person, so that you as chamber staff can travel along as well. Or I think some have used those extra trips as fundraisers or in silent auctions or things like that. So I'm going to be quiet. We're going to talk about other affinity programs, non-dues revenues, things like that later, but let's start with chamber travel. So for those of you who are currently doing it, I was hoping that I was trying to see who all is here. I know I see Nicole with Silicaga. I know you guys have done several, but anybody that has done it, please just
Monroeville
speak
is
up.
on here.
What's that?
Monroeville is on here. They
Yeah,
have
I see Penelope there. You guys are planning your first trip, right?
Yes, we've never done one before, but we're using Colette Travels. They have been very easy to work with. And we have a group, and Kelly and I are going for free. We have a group going to Ireland February, the end of February 2025. And we went ahead and booked a trip for Italy for 2026 just to go ahead and do it. But they only gave us, since it's our first trip and they really didn't know how many people we'd be able to get to go, they only wanted to give us like 10 spots. And I said, no, we're going to have more than that. And we filled up 20 spots like in no time before our even promotional meeting that we had. They added a second trip for us that actually is leaving the day before this first original trip. And they've opened some more spots up for that. We've had some people that are interested, and only one signed up for that other one so far. But money wise, we're going to see how it goes, but we do get to go for free. And they they encouraged us to go this first trip so that we would be able to talk about it to the community and to encourage people to go. So we're looking forward to it, and we hope we make a lot of money. I don't think we'll make as much as if we weren't going, but I think of a trip to Ireland as a good bonus trip.
Right. Absolutely. Penelope, since you guys have just gone through this for the first time, can you kind of speak to just how you chose Ireland, some of the promotion,
Hold
how
on just a minute. We're on.
Well,
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry. Speaking of this, we have somebody that is just coming in to pay for their trip right now. So that
Whoa.
Kelly's gonna slip
No.
out of that. But all right, say the question again. I'm sorry, I was distracted by somebody coming in.
No, you're good. Just since this is your first time and you're going through this, can you just talk through like how Jack has worked with you, what they have provided, the service that you've gotten? Again, guys,
Yes.
we are not necessarily promoting an individual company. We encourage you to do your due diligence with the multiple companies out there. But I do know Colette has worked with a number, and then just kind of what that process has looked like.
Okay. So I've always heard about these trips, but never really had looked into it because we're a little small chamber. Monroeville's a small community. And I thought, I don't know, that's not something we could do. But when I was at the last, the chamber conference in April and everybody was talking about it. And I'll tell you, Patty from Prattville was telling me how much money she made, like $25,000 from a trip. I thought, well, let me look into this. And so Sylacauga, Laura gave me the email introduction to Jack, that's our representative. And then we went from there, and they were very easy to work with. They set up a website that we just put a link on our website that people could do it. We started promoting it. They give you some promotional stuff to do, but I'll be honest, the graphics are not as good. Like they give you a little brochure that you can have in hand. I see somebody else holding theirs up, but it gives all the details, the forms. But Northwest Baldwin County Chamber is doing, I don't know if she's on this one or not, but anyway, she's doing one to Ireland too. And she had made a cute flyer. And so we just kind of edited and redid a flyer similar to hers. And we've just been publicizing it on Facebook that way. And then we had an informational meeting that we had a big crowd that came. Jack came, and we had it one night, and people have been signing up from there. And I mean, at first we had tons of people calling. Now it's kind of slowing down, but we're still having people call. It's very easy. People can just sign up online, but we have had some people that have come in and we've signed up for them, but it's been very easy so far.
Good. Michelle put a question in the chat box. She had originally partnered with Colette for a quote through a local travel agent. That's one of the questions that comes up quite often is what if you have a local travel agent?
We were lucky we didn't have a local travel agent, so that made it a no-brainer for us just to go with Colette. But I've heard some people say that working with a local one plus Colette, it didn't really jive as well, and that it was just easier going straight with Colette. And so I don't know. I'm sure other people have opinions though.
Yeah. Does anyone on the call, I can speak to that. Heather, go ahead.
We have a local agent we're working with. And this is our first one too. We're also doing Ireland. But it's been hard to get dates or responses. And I don't know if it's them two communicating and trying to work it out or what, but we've had a hard time getting communication. He was actually here last night doing a presentation we're doing London and Costa Rica next year. But I've liked it in that, like, I've literally done nothing but promote it. They go through our agent to book it, to pay it. So it balances in the worth factor because I'm literally completely out of it. I just cash the check at the end and get free trip.
Yeah. Does anyone else on the call use a local agent? Anyone? Michelle, I would recommend reach out to Brenda Dennis in Millbrook. She can talk to you about her experience with a local agent. And we can ask that question. That's also, I have heard good and bad. I'll just say that. I think that it definitely is. We are built as chambers around supporting local, and you certainly want to. And yes, it does take a lot from the bottom line. But Brenda has had a different experience. For those of you who know the river region, of course, you've got Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka. all right here. We're within 20 minutes of each other, 30 minutes of each other. All three chambers are doing chamber travel now. And two of the three have been very successful at it. So I would just say don't be afraid if your neighboring communities are doing it, because you know, people like to travel. It's a safe, I think there's safety in numbers. Um Penelope and anyone else that's done a trip, what type of traveler are you seeing? Are you seeing people that are typically engaged with your chamber, or just others?
Well, being a small town, people were really excited when we started putting it out. People were texting, calling all just immediately and were like, tell me about this trip. Can anybody go? How, tell me about it. And so there are some chamber members that are going, but there are a lot of just citizens that are going. I'm going to say we've got some people that are in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, that I don't know if we have anybody that's 70 going, but that's pretty much the age group. And I thought it was going to be a bunch of retired people, but it's not. I mean, it's people that are working. I've got a nurse. I mean, we've got a lot of people that are still working. I'm trying to think if anybody's retired. Maybe one, I think one's a housewife, she's not working, but her husband and she are going. But I mean, it sounds like a great trip to me. We're excited about it because everything's planned and we're just going to show up. They're bringing a bus to Monroeville on the day that we're going to travel. They're going to drive us on a bus to Montgomery and we'll fly from there. And they said that everything's taken care of from there, that this is a level 1 of 4 activities. So it shouldn't be too hard. 45 minutes of a tour each day. And then from there, you can just have your free time and dinners included and stuff too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And I recommend particularly, if this is your first trip, the travel companies are very good about recommending ones that are easier per se, whether it's activity level or transfers, or some move quite often, and so you're moving hotels. Some you're in one location and then you move. So there's definitely expertise there. um so
That
this
was
is
one thing I will tell you. They suggested Colette because they said, where do you want to go? And I said, where should we go? And they said a first trip, they think an activity level 1 is good because you want people to come back from the community saying, oh, this was great. And, so they said Ireland is always a good one to go to at first. And then, so anyway.
Yeah. Michelle mentioned or asked, how do you market it? Her team's pushback has been, it's just one more thing to market. I would say the bottom line makes it worth it. Um, it can be a significant, back years ago when I started in Georgia, there was a gentleman in oh God, where was Fred? Conyers, Rockdale, I think. And Fred back in the day was the guru of chamber travel, and he was making over $100,000 a year. So you just have to say it's the bottom line. But then also this is, to Penelope's point, chamber travel is something that you're not just marketing to your members. You have to you're marketing it to the community, which can be and should be different marketing channels. So yes, definitely to your membership, but oh, Heather, great point. Giving it to your senior centers. Um, Bank travel used to be a big, I used to go to the bank travel conference every year. And a lot of your community banks are no longer doing bank travel. So is this an opportunity for them to market to their customers? So let me go back through the chat. Martha said, hey, Martha. Yes, they do offer continental US. you can go to their website. Again, we're not specifically promoting Colette. They just happen to be the one that so many people are using. But yes, they do offer domestic. No, go ahead, Penelope.
All right, so this is what Colette took, because I thought the same thing. I thought, well, let's just go to out west or New York or whatever. And Jack said it's cheaper to go to Ireland or Italy or wherever than spending a week in New York. That any of the, that is just off travel is much cheaper. So that's why we went ahead and did not in America.
Yeah. And that Penelope, great point. I was going to say the same thing. You would be surprised when you look at the cost. Colette's been in the business for decades and decades and decades, as have others. And they are just have an opportunity to get these international trips at a rate that you can't beat. But then also, I think what they have found is people are more comfortable traveling solo domestically. And so they may be more likely to do that as a family or individually to travel domestically. Um, Roz, or that may not be you. Who is that? Is that Carolyn? Yes, the bottom line proven to average. I don't know that there is an average. Again, it depends on how many people, how many spots you're actually selling, and if you take your free trips. So let's just say, and don't quote me on these numbers, but let's say that you get one free trip per 10 people that sign up. That's going to take away from your bottom line. But then you may make between $250 and $300 or between, let's say, $200 and $400 per person off the bottom line is going to come back to you. So, okay, Heather said they get one free trip for every 15 and they're making $250 per person. Thank you, Heather.
All right, now we were getting, I think, one per seven. But now we're not using a travel agent. If you're using a travel agent, that's probably cutting into it. But we're just using straight Colette. But it was one per seven, and then I think it was 300 something we were getting per person after that.
I didn't realize that and I assume the agent got paid as they should, but that's a lot. That's a huge difference. But she's local, she's a member, so I think it would be in very poor taste not to.
Yeah. You
And
have to find what works. Just as we say, you've seen one chamber, you've seen one. You have to do what works in your community. Use the resources that you have available. But the great thing about this type of affinity program and the travel is it typically is a low energy, you're not having to do a lot of work. You're not doing another event to raise this money. So any other thoughts on chamber travel? We are hoping for those of you who will be with us in Orange Beach, and I hope that's all of you, that you are with us in Orange Beach in October for conference. We are hoping that Jack will be there. We also have extended a sponsorship opportunity to another agency. So I will say this, it doesn't cost anything to ask and to look at the opportunity. Let me ask this, and you can reply in the chat or raise your hand or speak. One of the things that we and the board has talked about is Alabama Chambers, the state association, doing a state trip. Particularly for those communities. Well, for one, as a fundraiser for us, as well, but then, as an opportunity for maybe those chambers that are not doing it at this current time. And you don't have to answer me, you can text me, call me, email me your thoughts on it. If you think that that would be successful for us, if you're possibly interested in doing that or promoting a trip that we sponsor. We certainly will not in any way compete with local, because we know this is a huge opportunity for our local chambers. But again, just something that we have considered, but would love to know if there's interest out there. All right, any other final thoughts on that before we move to other affinity programs? Oh, great question, Michelle. How far in advance is recommended to plan the trip? I would say we're in late 2024. The earliest I would look would be fall of 25 or spring of 26. Go ahead, Penelope. Yes.
So we had the meeting, professional development meeting in April. So when I got back from the meeting in April, contacted Jack with Colette. And so he got us set up from, now ours is in February is when we're going, but he just said, as long as you have from till September to be, that would be enough months. So that was quicker than I thought.
Yeah, good. That's good. Crystal asked the question, has anyone ever experienced concern from the community about not using a local travel agent? Anyone? Crystal, I would say, I'm trying to remember who. Let me think. Again, I talked to Brenda. I know she's using local. Heather is using local. Let me think who it was. Someone has asked their local agents to basically do an RFP to put together the same trip and then just price compare. And that is a great.
We did the same thing. We did a comparison, just because I didn't have any experience with Colette, and it was they were $2,500 cheaper than my local agent, and they put together a better itinerary, had a lot more features, and so we ended up going with Colette. But they were definitely cheaper.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you can put the proposal out, it's hard to argue with those numbers. And do talk to whether it's Colette, whether it's Jack or anyone else, is if there is a local agent, can they work with them? And they will. To Heather's point, they will work with a local. All right. So let's move past chamber travel to any other affinity programs. Does anyone have, whether it's an insurance program, the Office Depot? I know at one point was a large affinity program. Is anyone earning money through these types of programs? Does anyone have any that they would like to share? Is anybody using the Office Depot program, affinity program?
I did
Yes.
previously, but 0 people took advantage of it. I mean, we technically had it, but not a single member took advantage of it.
Okay. Tina, did I hear
We
you?
we have it. We get pennies to the dollar. We don't really get a lot of generated interest. I've got one big industry that uses it, so I think we get $40 a month. It's pennies, but it's $40.
Martha, the Office Depot, and it used to be a much more robust program. I think they've scaled it back some. Basically, you promote it, and it's a percentage off for your members. If they are using Office Depot services or purchasing from. As chambers, let me say this, Carla, can you tell me, I don't remember exactly how long ago it was, maybe 6 weeks ago, as local chambers, a member of Alabama Chambers, you are also members of BCA, Business Council of Alabama. BCA has this affinity program. So you as an organization, not pass on to your members, but you can have the Office Depot discount as well as there's another UPS. Is it UPS, Carla? I think it is. we sent out an email. We can resend that information if you need it. Just say yes, hey, resend it. Okay. We'll send that, but you can have those discounts as a member of BCA. It's the same, it's basically the same affinity program through them. Anyone else? Does anyone have auto owners discounts? I'm not sure that they still have them. Auto owners insurance. Talk with some of your local insurance brokers who have multiple companies that they work with. At one point, auto owners was offering a discount if you were a local chamber member. That's another potential savings. Anyone else have any, or maybe have something that you have locally that could be replicated in another community? Does your local newspaper, your local television station, radio station, do they offer discounts to your chamber members or in some type of revenue share? Any media discounts? Michelle,
Michael,
go ahead. Go ahead, Monica.
our local radio station offers new members a certain amount of spots available, and they can they'll either record it for them or the members can go in and record them, and that's when they join.
Okay, great. So that's a discount for your members, not necessarily a revenue share back to the chamber, but a benefit. Okay. All right.
We have something similar that, but it's not a revenue for us, but our city has a relationship with WBRC, Fox, and they will do like little mini spotlights, but it's kind of underneath the umbrella of, shopping small or shopping local. But that's been a great thing to point out to our members. So it's a member benefit that I wasn't even aware of until recently.
Okay.
We have a neat benefit some people might not be aware of. We're in Troy. Troy University does a 10% tuition, a waived application fee, and a free transcript evaluation for full-time employees of chamber members. That's neat.
That's awesome. Thank you, Bethany. That's
Yeah.
go Trojans.
Hey, I have a quick question about that. Someone had mentioned about local schools like community colleges and things and what they could offer, but are they members of your chamber and this is something that they're offering, or how does that work?
They
Yeah.
are a member of our chamber. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say North Alabama offers the same to the Shoals.
And Jacksonville State offers the same to their service area. A lot of your universities do that as well.
Athens State is offering a tuition discount to our members as well. So yeah, sometimes as much as 20%.
That's awesome.
Crystal, can you remember anything from our last meeting? I know you were one of the people we were like, we're going to add affinity programs to this meeting. Is there anything that you can think of that we were talking about the reason we decided to discuss affinity meetings?
Thanks. Other than what we've discussed.
Yeah, I feel like there was something with like, you guys had businesses that would cater events for free, or they would provide those services for free or something, for members in exchange for membership because they didn't join chambers per se. I feel like that was the thing. I could be wrong. Maybe that was somebody else.
We will trade membership if it reduces a budget item. But yeah. I'm not sure.
Maybe that wasn't it. I can't remember what it was. I feel like we were talking about something though that
Yeah.
we wanted to
I
have.
imagine most on here,
Yeah.
on the Zoom will do that, right?
You guys, please make sure you're checking out the um the chat. Michelle has offered. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. She left, gone somewhere. Anyway, um, I'm trying to make sure we don't miss anything. Michelle shared their PTA, which I'm assuming is Parent Teacher Association. The little coupon cards, selling those, and then it benefits your schools. Yeah, Athens and UNA as well offer. Check with your community colleges, not necessarily revenue generating. And typically, I would say affinity programs, we do think revenue share or revenue generation, which is always great. I would say the number one here in Alabama is chamber travel that I'm aware of. But we can also look at them we can look at affinity programs or direct benefit, if it could be considered a golden handcuff, which of course we know golden handcuff is something that a chamber member that ties a chamber member directly to your chamber, some tangible benefit that they would lose if they were not a member. And so one of those that we have here at Alabama Chambers is, of course, our insurance program. It is not a revenue share as ones have been in the past, or a royalty fee back to you as a chamber. We, Alabama Chambers, does get a very, very small, to Tina's point about, she gets $40 off the Office Depot. We get like $20 off of the insurance program. But it is a solution for your can be a solution for your small businesses, if they are looking at adding healthcare as a benefit to their employees. So Viva is the primary major medical provider with that. It can be Blue Cross if Viva is not a good fit. It can also be supplemental insurance that a business can offer, or it can be a cafeteria of dental, vision, long-term, short-term disability, any of that. So if you are not currently promoting that insurance plan, please let us know. We are going to put more emphasis on that as we go into the fall months, which is typical open enrollment for most people. But they will write or can write insurance for groups as small as 2 employees. And we have seen some success in small. Pell City, Urana had a local member small business that was able to save several $1,000s in their coverage every year. So please consider that as a benefit that you can offer to your members. Again, another solution. Anyone else have benefits? Do the chief owners of yes, but I think it has to be owner plus one. It can't be like husband and wife as employees. It would have to be owner plus one. Anyone else have other benefits? We talked about some media discounts. Have benefits that you have and of course the university and community college savings. Anyone have anything else that they're currently doing as tangible benefits? Y'all are quiet this morning.
I'll bounce in and just remind everybody of our affinity program with my brain just went blank. Terry Smiley.
Oh yes, thank you, Carla. Yes, all chamber.
All things chamber, you guys. That that money, a portion of that money comes back to us. It's really a great tool to help you guys, especially we've seen a lot of new employees, people moving around, new hires, things like that. It can really help provide some great training for you guys, and it's very affordable, and a majority of that money comes back to us. So
Thank you. Yes. For those of you who aren't familiar, All Things Chamber is a 6 module online series that you can do at your own pace. You purchase the license for your chamber, not per employee. So once you purchase it, you can use that in staff trainings. You can use that to onboard new employees. If you are hiring new employees, it's a great tool that I know several of you have purchased. It's $195. And that license is good through the end of 2025. So anybody that you hire, or if as a refresher for yourself, or if you wanted to use it during maybe staff meetings once a month or something, you can use that. And it's around everything from governance to membership to um, all the parts of running budgeting, all the parts of running a local chamber. And that is $100 if that stays with us here at Alabama Chambers. So um, Michelle asked, are the employees required to work a certain number of hours? I think it's there, it has to be considered full-time. So whatever you define as full-time, which is either 32 or 40 for most people, or whoever's eligible for benefits. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Anything else to share with the greater group? I'd be remiss in not welcoming Steve. Hi there, over there in Alex City. Glad to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm listening, taking a lot of notes. So Jaden's with me as well. Jaden's almost as new as I am to the chamber, but we're excited. Great things are ahead, so we're going to do everything we can to take advantage.
Well, that's awesome. We are glad to have you over there in Alex City. While we have everybody, and before we wrap up here in just a minute, don't forget, Professional Development Conference, October 1st through 3rd. We have a fantastic agenda scheduled, in all things membership, events and communications, operations and management. We've got some great plenary sessions. If you have tried to book a room, our room block is full on Monday night. If you're coming in Tuesday, you should be able to get a room. I'm working on culling through our room block list to see if there are any rooms that we can steal back from people. So, but there are other hotels available right there near the wharf. You also could potentially book outside of the room block. The rate is a little bit higher, but they do have some run of house rooms that are not in the room block if you want to stay at the Spring Hill Suites. So I encourage you register for that. If you have been in the industry 10 years, 10, 15, 20, we do it on 5-year increments. This is when we recognize our distinguished service designation. So please fill that out and get that to us. Small business awards for those of you who, and we hope all of you, will submit your fantastic small businesses. Those are due September 15th online through the website this year. If you have not done that, please do. If you have trouble with that, let us know. Carla can send you a direct link for small business awards. We have our final regional meetings coming up. This week we will be in, is it this week? Yes, Thursday. Thursday we'll be in Prattville. next Friday, the 6th, we'll be up with the great team up in Decatur. So we're Greater in Decatur. If you are up at that area, please join us there. And then on the 13th, and Carla will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's right. September 13th, yes, we will be over there in Steve's neck of the woods in Alexander City for our last regional meeting. Remember, you are welcome to come to any and all of them. We just try to spread them out to make them easy travel for everybody. So we've had some folks that have come to multiple, and we encourage you to do that if your schedule permits. So please sign up, register. We had a great turnout in Birmingham last week. We had about 24, 25 folks, and just great conversation. So, all right. With that, Carla, am I forgetting anything?
I will say I made a note when I send out the recording of this video. I'm gonna send out the Office Depot UPS discounts with BCA. The insurance information, we have like a flyer that I'm gonna send you guys that y'all can provide to your members. And I'll send information on companies that do the travel programs, just so you guys have some options to reach out to, and information on all things chamber. So that kind of highlights some tip top Affinity program information.
It's fantastic. All right. All right. Our next Talk About It Tuesday is not on my calendar. September.
It is, hold on.
September 20.
Yes, and it is, hold on, I have it right here.
I'm looking at the wrong calendar. If y'all are like me, I have 17 different calendars, and apparently I have the wrong one in front of me. September 24th, right, Carla?
Yes, hold on, I was trying to pull up the topic.
It's drip campaigns.
Oh,
isn't it? I believe. Yes. Yes, membership drip campaigns. We're gonna go with that until I'm proven wrong. But I think that's what it is. All right. Anybody have anything? Again, thank you all for all that you do every day. Thank you for your support of this organization. It's great to see some folks that we've seen on the road at our regional meetings. Thanks, Penelope, for hosting one down there in Monroeville and for giving us great information on the travel program. So with that, Bethany, I'll see you Saturday, right?
I'll be at the beach. Go Trojans.
Go Trojans.
You'll see me Thursday. We're coming to Prattville. And everybody, this is Diana Lee, our new executive assistant.
Hi, Diana. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
All right. I guess I'll have to cheer on our Trojans for us. So
please do.
Will do. All right. We will see those of you that are coming to Prattville on Thursday. Again, thank you guys so much. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.